Hello everyone. Please welcome in today's webinar about shortcuts to building useful reports. My name is Matis and I'm from flex.bi team, and today I will guide you shortly through a step-by-step guide how to build your first dashboards by using our templates. So let's go on and start with today's agenda. So first of all, we're going to go through templates library. That's a place where we hold all our templates and different reports, what you can later on use while building your own reports or dashboards. Then, of course, I'm going to show you how to set up your first reports and later on build your first dashboards from your reports. And lastly, I'm going to show you some tips and tricks what you can use later on for more advanced functions. So let's go move on. Dashboard templates page. That's a great place where you can get your first insights, see different examples of different reports and so on. There is as well option how to use the templates with your own data. I mean, by that I mean that you can copy the definition of the templates page and later on bring it to your own account in flex.bi. So now let's go to flex.bi and see how it works in practice. So we're going to open flex.bi webpage, go to my account. Let's log in. And in my case, I'm gonna use my webinar account. So as you see, this is my, for the starters, this is my homepage. For the source data, I'm using REST API connection with Henselworld. And I'm gonna use, for the webinar purposes, only invoice cube. Over here in Analyze section, that's the place where all your reports will be held. In my case, as you can see, I don't have any reports yet. Only you can see that I have 8.5 megabytes of some data coming from Henselworld that has been imported 2 hours ago. And also the dashboards. The dashboards, that's a place where you build, where you put together all your reports. So actually the dashboards, in the dashboard section, you just simply add all your reports. And as I told you before, we're gonna have a look on templates and what we can use for your business case. So let's open a template. It's gonna open in a new page. And already here you can see many different reports straight ahead, such as sales KPIs in time period, some gauges for salesperson with different targets, and so on. And all of these things you can actually use for your own company purposes. So let's look what else we have. For instance, this one. It's a great dashboard for more international companies that are doing their businesses abroad. It will help you to see the gross profit amounts from each country. Or let's say here on the right, you can see how the total amount of revenue in each country has been built up from what kind of products. Or, for instance, if you are interested more in details, you can have a look from what kind of articles. And as well, here is the map that represents your sales performance in each of the country. So what else we have? The next one, target monitoring. These are some targets for your salesperson, what you can later on modify according to your company's needs, and as a manager set up targets for each salesperson in the way how you want it. So this one, team competition. Team competition is slightly more advanced report template that we won't go in details today, because it requires some more advanced calculations and setup. However, if you have a need to build a team competition dashboard for your sales department, we advise you to contact your local partner or our support. So the team competition dashboard contains several reports, and the purpose of team competition is to share the knowledge among sales department. For instance, you might build two different teams. In this case, we have competition team 1 and competition team 2. And you could have participants in each of the team, let's say a mix of junior and senior salesmen. In that case, you would promote better knowledge exchange in your sales department. The next one, customer segmentation. This dashboard is useful for the business owners who are segmenting their customers according to their revenue. Trends and forecasts. Trends and forecasts is a dashboard where you can see how your business will look like in upcoming months if you still keep moving in the same directions as before. So the dashboards take into account your previous performance. So in this case, for January 2018, in order to achieve the forecast, what's made from the algorithm, we would still need to have 13,500 turnover. Further on, customer growth. Then we have unpaid invoices, contact list, and so on and so on. You can later on, I will show you step by step how you can actually use these templates for your own data. So let's go back to the presentation file. And let's build our first dashboard. The first dashboard will be about our company sales. We're gonna adjust some time dimensions and do some easy modifications of it. So let's go back to flex.bi. Let's open our account. And let's create a new dashboard. We're gonna name it sales report. Let's save changes. So now we have our first dashboard that unfortunately doesn't contain any reports yet. So we're gonna edit it. And before over here, we will need to import definition. By importing definition, we at flex.bi mean that we need to copy the formula what we used in a templates page to build the sales report. So let's open sales report collection from the templates. And over here on the right, you have an option to export definition. So we're gonna copy the whole definition. Let's do it. Close. Let's go back to our own account. And over here, let's paste it. So now we can see all the measures that will be used in the reports. And as well, the reports coming together with the dashboard. So now I will have the reports available also for other dashboards, what I will build in my account, such as top 5 salesmen, and similar. Let's press OK. So as you saw, within a couple of clicks, I have exactly the same reports what we had in the templates page, but now I have them with my own data. So, but since they came with some information that is not important for me anymore, such as how to import the templates and similar some guidelines, I would like to remove them. So we're gonna do edit. We're gonna edit the report. And over here on the right, we can delete all the all the unnecessary reports by pressing this icon. So let's remove these. And as well this one. Do we have anything else? No. What else we can do? For instance, sales KPIs in time period, in my case, is one of the most crucial reports. And I would like to have it, instead of taking just 66% of the screen, I would like to have it 100. Or perhaps I would like to move around some items and change places. For instance, over here, I would like to have top 5 salesmen on the top. So since we have simple drag and drop function, I don't need to have any programming skills to change the places and similar. Or let's say I would like to resize it to even smaller and put this one close to it. And in similar way, we can play around with the reports and then build the dashboard according to our needs and similar. So let's save the changes. And as you see now, if I would, for instance, go back to Analyze section, have a look on my reports or work on them, and then later on, if I would go to Dashboards and open the Sales Report collection, I have all the reports in this way how I left them before. So we have here some gaps what I would like to fill up, and as well, occasionally you will see after you are importing the dashboards from templates that some of the reports are not working. They seem broken. And the reason behind it is that, for instance, in this case, over here, the time is set to February 2015. But I know that in my case, I don't have such an old data. I have data only from 2016. So I'm gonna open the time dimension and let's say put January 2017. So you see that actually the report was working and the definitions of the reports are correct. However, sometimes you need to check if you actually have data for that kind of report. So for instance, if there would be a default currency set to, or some default customers set to customers that you actually don't have in your company, then for that reason, the report won't represent the information that you need. And in order to change the default time, what was set here, we need to open the report. So we're gonna press here on the name of report. Let's open top 30 most profitable items. And as you see, again, we are having February 2015. So what we need to do is simply press here and choose the date what you would like to have as a default date, let's say January 2018. And after that, you need to make sure that you save the report. Okay. So as well, during the webinar, in case if you have any questions, feel free to ask them and I will answer them during the webinar. So now we're gonna go back to the dashboard. Open sales report collection. And as you see, over here, now the default time is set to January 2018. Let's as well clean up a bit the dashboard. So we're gonna edit, put this one back to 66%. This one as well could go up a bit. However, later on, I would like to create more specific dashboards. Over here, currently I have sales report collection, and I would like to keep it as a general overview of the company, but later on, over here on the right, I would like to build more specific dashboards. For instance, those could be dashboards about items that are being sold in the company, or let's say salesman report. So let's go back to the presentation and have a look at how we're going to move on further. So we're going to create a new dashboard. Dashboards. We're going to create a specific dashboard for items, for salesperson, and customers. And then as well, I'm going to show you how to take just one, let's say, just one specific report from template page from one of those dashboards. Instead of copying the whole dashboard that would contain many different reports, I'm going to show you how to take just one report out of them and put it in your dashboard. And as well, I'm going to show you how to adjust reports to your need. So let's go back to flex.bi. And as I told you, we're going to create some new reports, dashboards. So let's say one is going to be for items report. Let's save it. Then we're going to have a customer report. And as well, we're going to have a salesperson report that would represent information more in details about my sales department, my salesperson, if they achieved their targets or not, and similar. So let's save it. And here it's unnecessary. I'm going to remove it. Yes. Since I wanted to keep the sales report collection purely for general things, what I'm going to do is I will remove things that are not needed here anymore, such as salesperson target monitor, because the salesperson targets, I will move to salesperson report over here. So what we're going to do, we're going to remove this one. Top 5 salesmen is not here useful anymore either. Profitable items, gonna go to the item dashboard. Over here, this one, let's see what's there. Sales increase, and let's keep this one here. Customer groups will go to the customer dashboards. Salesperson target monitor, let's see what's in it. Gonna be as well in the salesperson dashboard. Items, most popular items, gonna go to the item section. Let's say turnover by top 5 item groups, we can keep it here. And let's remove the rest of it. And keep this one. So let's keep the sales report collection like this. Let's save changes. And now we're gonna build items report dashboard. So let's press edit again. And over here, instead of going to templates page here and look if we have some specific dashboard for items, we can go back to our personal account. And here on the left, you will find an icon with add report. Let's do it. And now in the window, I can see all the reports that are ready to use in my account. So over here, since we're gonna build items dashboard, we're gonna look for reports containing name item. So one of the first things that I would like to see when I open my dashboard are top 30 most profitable items in period. I believe for any business owner or manager, it's one of those things what you always are looking for. What are the best selling items? So now we have top 30 most profitable items in period. Let's save changes. Make sure that after you modify or you add anything to the dashboards, you save it. Otherwise, you can lose all the tasks that you have done before. So, for instance, let's add another item, statistics report. And if I would change, let's say, some time that it represents, let's say, 2017, and without pressing Save Changes, I would go back to Analyze, Open Dashboards, and here in the item report, I don't have the report anymore. So always make sure that you save the changes. So let's add rest of the item reports. Item statistics. Then we're gonna add item turnover increase and items sold more than X. And let's open them to make sure that we have data in every report. So let's save changes. And as you see, over here for these two reports, I will need to change the time. So we need to open the report. And here we will need to bring in the time. Let's go back and see where is the problem. All customers, yes. So we are having some issue with the time here. Okay, let's forget it and then let's do a different report. So let's open the items report and let's do it for this one. Items sold more than X. So over here, we need to set the default time what we will use. Let's say 2017. So I can always have an overview of the best-selling items for 2017. In my case, I have added a filter to the report that will bring me only items that are being sold more than 50. So over here, you can see item quantity more than 50. In case if you have many items and you would need to change the filter, you can open it here, pressing on it, and let's change it, for instance, to 1050. So as you see now, I have data about the popular items that are being sold more than 1050. For instance, if you would work in a car dealership, then probably your item would be 5 to 10 or similar. So you need to change the item quantity filter according to your needs. Let's press OK. And if we save it, here we can change the name items sold more than 1050. And if you change the name here, it will work similar as save as. So it will make a separate report. It will not overwrite the old one. So let's press OK. Go to dashboards, items report. As you can see, it's still showing the old report. So we're gonna quickly remove it and add the report that we just built. So items sold more than 1050. in that way, we can build many different reports with the different default settings. So we're gonna save the changes. Another thing what is quite crucial for a company owner is not to know only what are the top selling products, but as well to know what products are not selling at all. So in that case, you could have an overview and then you will be able to make a better decision what kind of products you should actually take off your portfolio. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open the same report that we're using here. Let's do it. Let's remove this filter, item quantity. Let's remove it. Let's remove that one as well. And over here, on the item quantity, if we press on the name of the column, we have filters. You can add many different filters such as more than, more and equal, between, match, doesn't match, and similar. If you want to build a report that will show you information about items that are not selling at all, we need to filter out the items that has no sold quantities. So what we're gonna do, we will need to filter rows, press not match, and just add dot. So perhaps you will need to write down the exact formula and then step by step how we are doing it, since that's the way how it is. Let's press OK. And now we have a list of items that are not sold at all. So if we would go back to, so now you can save it as it is, as a table. Let's press save. And here we're gonna change the name to items not sold. Let's press OK. Let's go to dashboards. Open items report. And here, let's add it to the dashboard. Let's press edit, add report. Items not sold. So items sold, items not sold. So here we have it. Let's open it. Let's adjust the dashboard. So let's press this one to the left, make it 50%. And let's do this one to the right side. Now let's make 50%. So now, whenever I need to have information about items that should be taken off from my business portfolio, I can easily open items report and have a look at items that are not doing that well in 2017. Or if I want, I can have a look in other times. So let's save the changes. Let's look what else we can do. So we should create a salesperson dashboard. Salesperson dashboard will help me to have an overview of my salesperson. So let's open salesperson report and add reports here. So, of course, one of the most important, not most important, one of the most popular ways how the managers are evaluating salesperson performance is to use gauges. So we're going to use the same. Salesperson target monitor. Let's open it. And here I have a gauge report that shows me a gross profit from all my salesmen. So, but since it came from templates, it contains the targets and the beginning amount the same as it was in the template. But in my case, it's not not relevant, and I would need to change the targets. So what we're gonna do is, of course, save the changes so the report is still there, and we're gonna open the salesperson target monitor. One of the things I would like to have the report showing me information always about the current month. If I have a need, I can change it later on to look at in the previous months or something. But of course, as a manager, I want to see always the current month. So now there are two ways how you can change the limits. One of them is you can press on the value here in the middle of gauge, press on gauge limits, and let's say we're gonna have a starting value 0. If it's close to 0, then of course it's gonna be red. And if it gets closer to, let's say, 2,500, then it should be green. But if it's somewhere in the middle, let's say 1,250, then it's gonna be orange. So let's apply, and as we can see, since it's middle of the month, it's not that bad. Audrey could do it a bit better, but she's getting somewhere. And in the same way, you can change limits for rest of the salesperson. So in case if you would have a different salesperson by, let's say you would have a junior ones and senior ones, you could make a different target for each of them. Or the other way would be to press over here on the top, gross profit base amount, and change the limits for all of them. So let's remove this one, and then let's say we're gonna start from 0, and then the limit would be 3,000. Let's press OK. And now we will need to remove this one. It came from the template. So now we have changed the limits for all of the salesperson. What else you can do? For instance, here, on the table page, you can see actually how the table that's been used for gauges looks like. And we can play around a bit with the persons, the salesmen, who are in there. Let's say if you would have different sales group, but I don't have in my case, let's say you would have a salesman group by the regions, let's say for Europe, for North America and similar, you would have different sales groups over here. So in that case, you could add a target specifically for some regions. Or let's say I don't want to have all of the persons. I just want to have some of them. So what we can do is over here there is a search and bookmark button. Let's press it. And what we need to do is to look for all our employees that you want to use for the gauges. So let's say Kate as well. And then the last one will be Molly. So we're gonna have a gauges only for 3 employees. So Molly, yes. So then now we're gonna remove the all persons. Okay. What we're gonna do is remove this one. Like this. Remove. And let's say we're gonna add only 3 persons. So here we're gonna press and use and check Audrey, Kate, and Molly. So let's look at gauges. So now we can have one gauge for all of the members, together, and 3 more for the salesperson specifically. Let's save it. Keep the same name since we want to overwrite it. Let's go to the dashboards. Let's open salesperson report. And as you can see, we have 4 different gauges. So what else we can do? We can add some more reports about the salesperson performance. As well, this one, salesperson target monitor overview, looks like could be useful in my case. So I'm gonna take it to the dashboard, open it, let's save changes. And then again, we will need to change the time if we want to keep it default by some specific time. Let's move on and do and let's build the customer report. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna edit, add report. Customer group statistics in time period. So already here I can have a report. Let's save it before we lose it. A report that will help me to analyze and understand better what's happening in my company regarding sales, from what kind of customers they're coming from, and similar. So what we can do is, for instance, over here in April, we had item quantity sold 2,700. Then we can, let's say, see exactly how much Kate sold, or let's say how much Kate sold to some specific customer. From if you would press over here on all customers, then you would see the customer groups, and let's say hotel customers and this one. Then we can see the quantities over here. Or choose one of your item groups or items what you would like to see. Let's see how much Kate sold to Schmidt of food items. What else we can do? Let's see if there's anything else, but before that, there's as well a small thing. If you play around with one of those dimensions, let's say customers or items and similar, here on the left, there's a button that allows you to undo and go back to the previous screen. So let's add more reports. Customers. Okay, I have only one more report, so I'm gonna have a look if there's anything else useful in the templates. So let's go to the templates. Apparently, I don't have anything more to use from the sales report collection dashboard that we used previously, but I'm gonna look if there's anything else. So let's have a look at customer growth. Customer growth report shows you, according to the customer's revenue, if the growth of your customer. So since I would like to use this report as well for my business, what I'm going to do, instead of exporting definition here that would export the whole dashboard, I would like to have only the customer growth report. So we're going to open it. And over here on the top right, we're going to export the definition. But please note that now we don't export definition of dashboard, but we are exporting definition only of report. So we're going to copy it. Let's close it. Let's go back to our dashboard. But the thing is, if now, let's say I want to have the report that we just copied to customer reports. So now I would press import definition, it would show me an error because I cannot import reports where dashboards are supposed to be imported. So what I need to do is go to Analyze, the place where all your reports are being held. And here are Import Reports button. So we're gonna paste the definition of previous report over here. Let's press OK. So these are the members that will be used, the calculations that will be used for the report. Let's import. And now we have a new report name called Customer Growth. Let's press OK and move to Dashboards. Let's open Customer Report. And let's add the report that we just made. So let's look for customer growth. It's over here. Okay. And now we have exactly the same report what was before in the templates, but only now in our account. Let's save it. So what else? Let's have a look on the presentation. What else can we do? Adding reports from the templates page that I showed you. We will have a look in details later on how we can adjust reports to your needs. There was another thing that I didn't show you for a sales report dashboard. The thing what is useful is, let's go to templates. For instance, over here, let's open the team competition. As you can see, we have one of the fields, the time field, is over here on the top. So what does it mean? That every time when you would change the time here, let's say now it's showing this month, if I would press to show me December of 2017, it would immediately change the time in all of the reports being used in the dashboard. So as you can see everywhere, the time is now December 2017. So I can do exactly the same with my dashboards. And I'm going to show you in a second how to do it. So here we have item report. And what we can do is we're going to press edit. And now, if we would open, let's say we want to have the customers over here on the top. So every time when I need to know the same information what we have here in all of the reports, but it will allow me to know the information about one certain customer, or let's say customer groups. So what we need to do is press on all customers. And over here on the bottom, there's a common page. And if we check it, then now we have it as well here on the top. So let's save the changes. And as you can see, if now I would, let's say, I want to see only cash suppliers, then all the reports would show me only information about cash suppliers. So in case there is no information, we wouldn't have anything. So let's go back to the presentation. I showed you how to remove reports that should be placed in other dashboards. We built items report dashboard, top items, items not sold. We made gauges for salespersons. We built a customer report. And there's another thing that I would like to have as a company owner is to see, to have a place where I can have a report about one specific salesperson. Instead of playing around with the reports in sales departments dashboard, I want to build a dashboard solely about Audrey's performance. So what we're going to do is go back to flex.bi. Let's create a new one. Audrey performance. Let's save it. What we're going to do is we're going to add report. We're going to use the salesperson target monitor. Only in my case, I don't want to see other salesperson when we are talking about Audrey. So what we're going to do here, we're going to open the report. We're going to look at the table. And we need to make sure that we have only Audrey selected. And as well, for me, it's not enough to see only gross profit from Audrey. So what I would like to add some more information about her as well. So what we can do is here, the columns are made from measures here. So if we would open it, here are the some options what we can add more to the table. These ones, selected members, I won't go too much into details, but these selected members are coming from your data source. In my case, it's Hansel. Or these are the calculated members that are mixed with members coming from Hansel, then some calculations. So what I would like to do is to add as well the amounts what Audrey is selling. And now, if I would go to a gauge section, I would have already two different things. So here, I would still keep the gross profit base amount, the target what we said before. And as well, I want to change the gauge limit for the item amounts. Let's say it's going to be 4,000. I want that she sells 4,000 items monthly. That's going to be green. And this is going to be red. Let's press apply. And if you want to be more visually appealing, let's do another thing. And if it's in the middle, then it's gonna be yellow. Apply, great. Let's save it. And this is gonna be Audrey monitor. Audrey, okay. So let's go to the dashboards. Great. Here, yep. And since it's showing the old one, report that I don't need anymore, let's remove it quickly. And let's import the Audrey monitor. Great. There is one more thing that I would like to see as a company owner. I would like to see as well if the customers to whom Audrey is selling our products are actually able to pay their invoices. So I would like to have a report next to it about unpaid invoices coming from Audrey. So I believe I saw something about unpaid invoices in the templates. So I'm going to have a look on the templates. And yes, indeed, we have here unpaid invoices. So we have here two different reports. Customer with unpaid invoice detailed overview. And this is more a simple version of it. So I would like to add this one to Audrey's report. Let's export the definition. Yes. And save the changes. Let's go to analyze and import it over here. Okay. Unpaid invoices overview. Let's go. Let's open it since we will need to make some adjustments. And over here, I would like to, since now it's showing for all of the salesperson, it doesn't filter. Doesn't filter salesperson. I would like to have persons here, and I'm gonna choose search and bookmark. I'm gonna look for Audrey. It should be, I believe. All persons. Audrey. Okay, then I can see, let's say, the unpaid invoices by similar several salesperson, and here will be invoice base amount. And let's remove these ones. Remove. Remove. Or there are two ways. It's either you remove it or you can select this. So what else we can do? Let's go back to the dashboard. Let's move on. Let's see how you can actually analyze your reports. So for the purpose of example, I'm going to use the sales report dashboard. So let's go to the dashboard, or we can, or let's say we're going to use our own sales reports collection. And here, for instance, I would like to see more specifically data about June to September. There's an option that you would press the left mouse button, and it allows you to zoom in. For instance, if you would have some other data where it's possible, it would allow you to zoom in and have a look on the information more in details. Here on the left, you have a reset zoom button. So what else we can do? As I showed you before, on the top, there's an option to choose only items to be shown in the report. Or here we have the customers. But let's say I want to look specifically into June 2017. So now we can have a look exactly what happened in the first week of 2017. Let's reset. And here, if you want to go back, we press here. What else we can do? We can go through the invoices, what we had in May, and we can see from what customers they were coming from. Or let's say we would choose hotel and taxi, and then here it's not showing. No. Okay, and then you can actually play around with the data and look what kind of information is needed for you, and then definitely you will find a way how to get it out of flex.bi. So let's go back to the presentation. Another thing what I didn't show you is that all the graphs are available as tables also. So over here on the right side, you have the table icon. So here, instead of having a visual presentation, you can see the table with all the information. And you can do exactly the same. Choose only hotels or one salesperson, and in similar fashion you can look for the information what's crucial for your company. So let's go back to the presentation. I'm going to show you some tips and tricks what perhaps you didn't know before. As I told you earlier, we have several templates that are for more advanced users, and there are two options how to make use of those templates. It's either you can have a look on in our support center, in our documentation, or you can contact your partner or our support center that will help you and guide you through the setup process. Then I'm going to show you as well one feature what is quite useful for managers, that is dashboard emailing, and as well that you can export all the dashboards to Excel or PDF file. So let's have a look on flex.bi. So the first thing about documentation, I showed you before in templates. Let's open templates. That, for instance, there is a team competition dashboard. If you want to have more information how to adjust and then set up the template, you can read about it over here. Or more specifically, here where you have question mark, you can open documentation. And then on the left, look for report templates library. And here you will have guidelines of setting up competition algorithm. And it will show you step by step what you need to change, what kind of targets you need to set, and similar. And then as well for online team statistics. And here you have other useful reports that needs to be modified before you can use them correctly. So what else? You can have a look in our older webinars if there is some information or some tips what are useful for you. So for instance, for people who need to know, who would like to learn more about MDX, that's the language that we use to define some calculations and similar things in flex.bi. Or let's say how to connect HansaWorld and so on. It's useful for any user. Then let's go back to flex.bi, and I told you I'm going to show you how you can email your dashboards. So over here we have an icon that looks like a letter. Let's open it. And here we can see we have a list of all the dashboards that we built previously. So let's say I can choose, for instance, to receive a sales report collection on every Monday. And as well on Mondays, I would like to see the customer reports. But then, for instance, I would like to see Audrey's performance only once a month, in end of the month. Let's say on 25th. That's the day of the month. And here we choose what time I'm going to receive it. So since I'm usually starting my workday around 9, I want to make sure that I have it before that. And here you can send the test email to see how it looks like, or save the subscription schedule and receive all the dashboards to your email registered in the account. So that's one option. Another option, what you can do is, for instance, if you are preparing for board meeting or similar, over here on the right, there's an icon and you can export the data to your favorite format, let's say PDF or Excel and similar. So thank you.